There is evidence that dinosaurs were already on the way out, even if an asteroid did deliver the final blow. The fossil record shows that the number of dinosaur types dropped 70% between 73 million and 65 million years ago. What caused the decline? Was it a change in climate? A change in ocean currents? The changing distribution of plants? Whatever the reason, Horner insists that the more interesting and surprising question is how the dinosaurs managed to hang on for so long. Humans should be as lucky. It was only 80 years from the time that Darwin published until we detonated the first nuclear bomb, he says. In the lifetime of one person. We went from figuring out where we came from to figuring out how to get rid of ourselves. When the history of life on Earth is complete, Horner suspects, the world's most beloved extinct creatures may have outlived their admirers by some 100 million years. The importance of human gestures has been greatly underestimated. Students of linguistics are everywhere, and the analysis of human languages is a widely accepted scientific subject, but the gesture specialist is a rare bird, indeed not so much a vanishing species, as one that has hardly yet begun to evolve. There are two reasons for this. In the first place, gestures have quite wrongly been considered a trivial, second-class form of human communication. Because verbal exchanges are the crowning glory of humankind, all other forms of contact are viewed as somehow inferior and primitive. Yet social intercourse depends heavily on the actions, postures, movements and expressions of the talking bodies. Where communication of changing moods and emotional states is concerned, we would go so far as to claim that gestural information is even more important than verbal. Words are good for facts and for ideas, but without gestures, human social life would become a cold and mechanical process. Bertrand Russell argued that a universe under a death sentence * from the second law of thermodynamics rendered human life ultimately worthless. All our achievements, all our struggles, all the noonday brightness of human genius, as he put it, would, in the final analysis, count for nothing if the very cosmos itself is doomed. Russell's despairing tone is frequently echoed by contemporary thinkers. Thus the French Nobel Prize-winning biologist Jacques Monode writes, "Man at last knows that he is alone in the unfeeling immensity of the universe, out of which he has emerged only by chance." If it is relatively easy to explain why populations grew so fast after the Second World War, it is much harder to explain why the growth is now slowing. Experts confidently supply answers, some of them contradictory. Development is the best contraceptive, or education, or the empowerment of women, or hard times that force families to postpone having children. For each example there is a counterexample. 97% of women in Oman know about contraception. And yet they average more than 6 children each. Turks have used contraception at about the same rate as the Japanese, but their birth rate is twice as high. And so on. It is not AIDS that will slow population growth, except in a few African countries. It is not horrors like the civil war in Rwanda, which claimed 500,000 lives, a loss the planet can make up for in 2 days. All that matters is how often individual men and women decide that they want to reproduce. But the short story is a very rich literary form. No human thought or feeling, no subject, no matter how familiar or how strange and exotic, no life is foreign to it. It is the writer's talent to strike sharply and directly at the heart of all the problems of human life, because his is the eye which sees freshly and deeply, and the hand which paints meaningfully and beautifully. Even when starting into the face of war, hatred, bias, or degradation, the reader is engaged by his vision, hooked by the image of life the writer creates, and, hopefully, enriched by the experience of the life and art of which he has been a part.